Another question from Brandon. Brandon's asking about 18-ounce regimental fabric. Is that tougher? Is it more well-made than 16-ounce wool?
No, it's just a little bit different. It's actually
Scratchier.
It's scratchier. If you think of if you've ever had like an old army blanket, it is it's a little spongier, for lack of a better term. The mills that are weaving the 16-ounce cloth and the 13-ounce cloth today are weaving a much harder finish. And by harder, what I mean is if you actually look at the cloth, turn it on its side, and you're kind of looking down the length of the cloth, you can see on Eric's kilt or on my kilt a couple little tiny hairs sticking up, but it's not a ton of fuzz. If you look at the 18-ounce cloth and you do that same thing, you're going to see a lot of hair kind of sticking up and out of the fabric. It is a good bit more expensive. There are not that many tartans that are woven in 18-ounce. The British military today is wearing 16-ounce wool kilts from several different mills, several different makers.
That's interesting to note.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no single kilt maker for the British military.
Okay.
There'll be some from like 3 or 4 different mass production kilt makers over in Scotland.
Okay.
But yeah, you can do 18-ounce fabric. Give us a call. We'll tell you the ones that are available. I don't think we have them on our website, but it's called Regimental Weight. I believe House of Edgar is the only one to actually weave that particular weight. And there's about 6 or 8 tartans in it. There's not a lot.
So that begs the question for me is, what is the demand for it? Who buys it? I mean, I know some reenactors who are interested in that kind of thing, but other than that, who is House of Edgar selling it to?
Not much.
Really?
Yeah. It's in
okay.
15 years of business, I think we did 1 kilt in it. It's a lot more expensive.
Huh. Is the set size generally larger also?
Set size is going to be a little bit larger.
Okay.
But the cloth itself is a lot more expensive, and I don't know. It doesn't. To me, I'd rather have a 16-ounce kilt. There's no advantage to me to an 18-ounce in that particular cloth.
Okay.
If the fabric was the same hard finish that the 13-ounce and the 16-ounce is, then maybe. And if I happen to like one of the 8 tartans that they do in it, then I might get a kilt in one of those. But outside of that,
yeah,
I see no real burning desire to do it.
I've always really assumed it was mostly a reenactor thing at this point, that people want it for doing something like 19th century or early 20th century kind of reenactment. But interesting. Yeah.
Yep.